Honestly, at this point in time, 360 emulation is kind of like the next door neighbor that only leaves his house once a year to rake the leaves. It's very mysterious, it's a bit creepy, and you kind of just want to know more about it. So there's really nothing else to do at this point other than to test the waters of Xenia again, the Xbox 360 emulator, and if it's improving. Sometimes I see online some games that once worked even well, or just at all really on Xenia, are not really functioning the best right now, and then I see some people say it's like regressing or something. I'm not even know what the hell is going on. It just seems like something that's, I don't know if that's true or not, it's just I've seen it, it's like, what, is that happening? It would just be very nice if this could continue to function, because out of all the emulators that I've used, at least recently, this one is probably the one you have no idea what you're getting yourself into when you play it. Before any of this begins, this 100% needs to be said. There are many games that you can play on PC. The main point of this is to basically find out if the performance of Xenia and just everything related to it has gotten better. So if you don't know what Xenia is, then it's basically like the 360 emulator of choice for the most part. I'm not even sure if there's another one. Whenever you see anything related to 360 emulation, you will always hear about Xenia. It's probably the most mainstream one, the one that people talk about the most. I just saw recently, actually, there's something related to Android 360 emulation. I didn't attempt that because there's probably no chance in hell that my phone would be able to run any game. So if you ever wanted to try out this or just anything related to 360 emulation, then Xenia would be the choice. It seems like the Canary version is the one that people go with, or that's the one that I've seen people use the most. Or is that the same thing? May have said the same damn thing in a different way, but that's the one that I went with. If there is a bad thing, or there might be more than one bad thing, but one of the main bad things about this is you definitely, I was going to say probably, but you definitely need a pretty decent PC to be able to run these games. It's just like turn into a dragon over here. There is a compatibility list you can see, although sometimes I personally find it confusing. And this is really what Xenia is. You have to go into it and understand that certain games will perform like a vacuum cleaner that just ran over a bottle of olive oil. It's not going to be the best experience sometimes, but sometimes it will actually be quite nice. So if any of that made any sense, let's install this. This is actually quite simple. It really is. The GitHub page will let you know everything you need to know. It will also provide you with a download link or source. God damn it. It's, yeah, you just have to click on this damn thing and it will download for you very quickly. This is when you have to extract it if you have 7-zip or something. This is, you have to adjust the settings. This is absolutely something where you have to adjust the settings for, and it's really not that confusing at this point as long as you know what you're doing. One of the main things you might want to actually move up if you have a decent PC is the resolution. If you do move this up quite a bit, there's probably more of a chance that games might not function the best. I can't believe I forgot to say this, but one of the most important things you might want to do in this is move up the frame rate. I've moved this up to 60 and it's worked okay. Sometimes I feel like I've had to move it down, but if you leave it on 60, it should be all right, at least for the games I played. That seemed to be mostly everything, actually, that I'm thinking about it now. You might obviously want to leave, or you do, probably. Actually, it's necessary. Definitely do it. You want to make sure that game patches is on. One thing I think that happened a couple years ago, at least, when you had to set up a controller, I think that was kind of a nightmare for this as well, but at this point, it's really not that bad. So that might be it for the settings, at least the ones that I changed. Again, if you're having some miserable experiences with some games, you might want to move some of those settings down if you have like frame rate too high. If not, then maybe the game just doesn't work on this or something, but those I've found are the two settings where if the game might not be working the best, if you move those down, then you might have the best chance just with those two. That leads me to the next part, which is the most important, besides changing settings maybe. How the hell do we get games? You might maybe be thinking, right? You might maybe be, I don't know if you can say maybe before that. You might be thinking that I'm going to lead into some talk about doing things online that you might get in trouble for if the cops showed up at your house. I'm not doing that. This is how we get them. If you have a 360, that's all you need. Now, before we start adding our games to this, we need to set this up. So let's do that. It's done now. All you have to do is put the disc in the 360 and let it close. It will load up right on the main dashboard, and then we just have to click X. And if we install it, oh wait, hold on, sorry. Damn it to hell, I forgot this. Before we do this, we have to put the USB drive in the 360. We have to go over to the settings, down to storage, and then we have to format the USB drive. So now, once the disk is still in the system, because it might be just sitting there rumbling on your table, now we can click install and then pick the USB drive that we have in the 360, and it will go right on the, it probably took nowhere over 20 minutes or something, but they were probably around 7 to 10 gigabytes. Hey, how you doing? So apparently there's other ways to get these games on our computers. I went to the internet, and the internet sometimes can be a place you don't ever want to go to again. It's sometimes almost intimidating as a public Habbo hotel room. However, this is information that I found on the internet, and I didn't do this method. There might even be, I'm saying might because I don't want to say anything that's wrong or doesn't make any damn sense, but I saw something on the internet saying if you do have these games already downloaded on your hard drive, there is possibly a way you can just copy them over to an external device or something and then get them on your PC that way. Anyway, back to what I was saying, whatever the hell I'm talking about. So once we put all the games we want on our USB drive, we can do this for basically however much storage we have on the USB drive. If you have a lot, we can fill this damn thing up and take it right over to our PC. Getting games on Xenia is easy, especially this way. The right way. Once it's on your USB drive, we just move it to whatever computer we're using. There will be a content folder in the USB drive. Now, if that's not showing, you're going to have to enable hidden items because it will just be hiding from you. It won't want to see anything but darkness. If you're not really sure which game is which, because you may have gone through a lot of games, you may have put like 20 games on your USB drive, you have no idea. There is a nice Xbox database website where you can search up the specific code and it will tell you which game is which. We just have to click into one of the folders that we're looking for. Once we identify it, we have to get this exact file, the one that is just sitting there different than a folder. This is the file we need, and it will add it right into Xenia. That is it. Did I miss something? I am starting to think I forgot to say something, because that is legitimately how easy it is. It's very strange just with a stock Xbox 360, unmodified, nothing done to it. You can do this and get 360 games on your PC and move them into Xenia and play them. It's almost like, was this meant to happen? Was this meant to be a thing? But I can't even explain how easy and amazing this is. Thank you, Microsoft, for once, because you guys are annoying now. So if you do want to transfer these or convert these to an ISO file, there is something we can use, and it works very well. There's something I used before when you want to get games on, like, it's like the opposite. Actually, it's the exact opposite, I think. If you wanted to get games on your hacked 360, then you wanted to convert them from ISO to games on demand. Now we're doing the games on demand to ISO, and yeah, that's it. You just have to get this very nice thing, download it onto your computer, and then we can open it up, and we just have to find our games. So we just click the game we need, pick where you want to put it, and then we're good. Once that is done, that doesn't take that long either, at least for the games that I used, maybe between 7-10 gigabytes. That is done. The ISO image is right here. It is right on our desktop, and now it's good to go. we can move this to Xenia. And that is it. That's weird. Now that we have the games on Xenia, this is also very necessary. We do need game patches because some of these games don't even really work the best if you don't. Gears of War 2 is a perfect example. If you try to load up that game without any patches on, it's weird as hell. It looks strange. We can fix that. There is a patch for this exactly, and all you have to do is right-click on the game, go to download patches, and see which ones are available. After you click whichever one you might want, you can configure them. Not every game, it feels like, has or feels like, what? That didn't make any damn sense, and it sounded weird. But some games you do need to do things like that if you want to be able to play it in a way that isn't annoying.
Nothing here to guard.
Sounds like a good first assignment to me.
And even things like getting game covers, that's right the hell away. You don't have to download them. You don't have to put them in a folder. Do anything like that. It'll just appear. Oh, hey there. I haven't played this in probably almost a year. Actually, maybe even... yeah, probably. It's probably been around a calendar year since I've played this. It could have been longer than that. It might not have been that long. I have no idea anymore what the hell's going on this planet. But for the most part, I can already tell that things are kind of getting better. There's some games I'm currently playing that were not functioning maybe the best when I did play them last year, and now they're like not doing that. I'm not exactly sure if this could have been something where maybe they were always functioning well. I just had... I tried to make it so every single setting was probably the same. I'm almost positive it was the last time I played this, so I just wanted to make sure everything was identical and nothing changed. And from what I'm seeing, I'm playing Burnout what the hell am I talking about? Burnout Revenge right now. And the last time I played this, I was at first kind of not remembering if this was on PS2 or just 360, but it was 360. There was almost this like weird flickering going on or something, just these weird flashes and things were... The game actually kind of functioned okay besides that. Nothing really else was bad about it. It's just that that was something I was noticing every like 5 to 10 seconds. There was this flash of black light. I remember messing around with the settings and everything, and just nothing was doing anything, so I was like, what the hell is going on? Splinter Cell Double Agent I was playing, and that actually seemed good. However, it was a bit weird when he tried to load it up. Every time I tried to go to like a different screen, when I clicked on something or just something was loading into the actual campaign single player, it had this message that popped up and basically said that it can't continue, and then once I restarted Xenia, it worked. Once you get through that, it seems like you can actually play the game. It just didn't want to go into what I was trying to do at first in one take. It was just kind of giving me a problem, and now it's like working well. I don't know what the hell I'm doing in this game, to be honest with you. If there's any video game franchise that I'm very unfamiliar with, it is Splinter Cell.
Here.
I don't know if I have like a specific version of a game that I shouldn't have or something, because every time I try to play Halo Reach on Xenia, it just starts talking in French to me.
Charles, c'est pas trop Zotnev. Ton accent m'est familier.
Alright, so from what I'm seeing, I think what I thought was going to happen might be maybe happening. GTA 4 right now doesn't look as... If that's... I don't know if I'm like imagining this right now and just trying to... Oh my... Yeah. I don't know if I'm making this up in my head that this looks way better or something. Or not way better, but just a little bit better than if you played it on a 360 or even a PS3. I think this is what this means, because I should actually probably go and compare it and turn it off and then see if it's actually what it is. Because if you've played GTA 4 on a standard 360 or a PS3, you probably understand what's kind of happening. Everything was kind of blurry. If you want to use the exact word that's in the patch, it's probably best to just say that one. Wow, this is actually kind of really nice right now, actually. I can't really believe it's functioning well. The performance of this game is not giving me any reason to think it's going to function terribly. GTA 4 runs on Xenia Canary. That's... I don't know how insane that is, but I feel like it's impressive. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it has nothing to do with being impressive. I just think that it's personally a bit cool. Yeah, this game is, Jesus Christ, I'd actually play this on Xenia, I think, if this is what I'm seeing here. I'm going to go back and see if what I'm talking about might actually be what is happening. Okay, so I'm going to configure the patches. I'm going to enable disable blur filter, and then everything else should be good to go. I think it's just kind of cool at this point that games like this are simply functioning on these emulators, and that's it. Yeah, I think I can tell the difference now just from looking at some of the images before I'm even walking. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there is a difference. You can kind of tell that like this is the way that the game was like meant to be played. Mother of God, actually. This is a bit different. It's probably not the craziest noticeable thing of all time, but it's definitely something that you do notice. This is like how the game, I think, looked. I don't even remember. I went back and played GTA 4 so much longer after it was released. I played it originally in 08, and then I don't even know if I played it much for the next maybe 10 years. Is this actually how it looked? Was it this blurry and everything, and just you can really tell? Actually, probably a big difference right now that I'm noticing. Just driving around in the daytime is probably the best time to find this out. Very interesting. We have GTA 4 functioning quite well on this right now, and we also have a very nice patch that you can enable, or technically it's disabling something. And God, the driving in this game is actually something that will make you feel like you've never driven in any video game before. So GTA 4 works, and I like it. Hello, it's me again. In terms of which games worked well, there was quite a few. This is just a weird thing. It feels like if you just have a plan going into this, like if you know a specific game is going to work, then this is fine. But if you really have no idea, and if you're just kind of going into this randomly, then this could be a little bit of a pain in the ass, because it is really a toss-up for most games. Even ones that I swear I was playing last year were not working. I could have sworn I was playing Saints Row at one point, and now it's not working. And I changed so many things around, so many settings. I did everything imaginable. Project Gotham Racing 4 is very weird because, well, not the game. The game is amazing. Like, the game is actually very good itself, just the way it performed in this. Out of all the games I played, this one probably performed the best in terms of frame rate and just actually sitting there playing the game. Like, there was barely any glitches, any like freezing or anything like that. It functioned well. But where it got a bit weird is that you couldn't even hear any engines, and you couldn't turn the music off, which really isn't even that bad. I wouldn't have even done that if it wasn't for actually getting gameplay purposes for this video. I would have 100% left the music on. I didn't even realize this game had such a good soundtrack. The most legendary Xbox 360 game works on this, that being Halo 3. There was I just wanted to go back and play this because when I played this last year, whenever it was, there was this weird thing that happened where you could like see light through walls, or just, it wasn't even just lights, it was like lights from, what are they called? What the hell's going on? Anyway, it was basically doing this thing where you could see lighting through walls. That still, I think, was happening a bit in this, but for the most part, besides that, it wasn't really doing anything that was weird. It was working fine last time I played it, but when you went into a new area, it would take maybe even 3-4 seconds. MotoGP 06. I sound like an idiot saying that, but that game is very fun, and it works incredibly well. I've just been playing that randomly for the first time in my life the last couple times I've done anything with emulators, and these games have been very fun. And they seem to work. They're hard though. I used to only play racing games at one point in my life as a child, and I still could not figure out how to master a very good turn. Forza Horizon 1 works very well on this as well. Like, weirdly well. Yeah, some games unfortunately have weird things going on, like Forza Motorsport 4. You can just see this like weird box shadow around the car. But that's the only thing that kind of makes this game weird. Everything else in terms of performance for this game seems to work fine, but when it comes to that one thing, that's just there. It's definitely playable. It's definitely a game that isn't going to probably be a nightmare or anything, but it's just one of those things where you kind of have to deal with something a little bit strange to be able to play it. And to be honest with you, it may just come down to what settings you have. If you adjust some settings around, you might even be able to get these games to work better, or just at all. You have to mess around with the settings a bit if things are not going your way. It's not like if you go into it and then there's many games that don't work and then you get frustrated and smash everything in front of you. That's not worth it. Because you can adjust settings and you can get games to work. If you, I was going to say Macely again, I think. Slap on a different setting and it may work. That's it. It's also probably worth noting that if you decide to maybe move some graphical settings up, you don't want to move them up too much. I really just tried to move the settings to a point that was testing my PC's ability to even live at this point. I moved everything up as high as I could possibly think it would function. And really at that point, it looked like the game was developed by a Baskin-Robbins ice cream machine because everything was very strange. It was loading in bushes and trees, and just everything kind of in the distance was looking a bit weird as I was trying to play this on its highest settings, or just settings my PC could possibly handle. But once I moved everything back down to an actual good spot, the game worked perfectly. So you don't want to go overboard with this because it might not work. So in terms of comparison between playing on Xenia and a 360, just from the games I played, you can tell a difference. Gears of War 2 is a very notable one, because again, without the patches on Xenia for like the black shading fix, and it actually runs quite well on top of that if you have the unlock frame rate patch as well. At least for me it did. Now Halo 3 was interesting because I haven't played Halo 3 on console, on a 360 console in forever maybe. I'm not even, or at least the campaign. It was looking a bit dark. Things were looking a bit not easy to point out things and notice things. Things were not as bright and clear. You really just couldn't see as well on Xenia compared to playing on an actual 360. Walked up to the microphone. I have no idea what I'm going to say. Xenia is weird. It is. This is probably the best way to sum it down. If you go into this and think that every game is going to work, it's not going to. If you go into this and think to yourself, all right, let's try some of these games and see. Let's not be shocked and angry if they don't work the best. If you go into this with a plan and you know which games do work because you saw something on the internet or something saying it did, then this is really not bad at all. One thing I noticed too that, I don't know if it matters or anything, but the last time I used this emulator, I noticed that my PC was getting very loud when I was playing every game, not just some of them, every game. It was just very interesting because sometimes your PC gets so damn loud that's like, the hell is going on? It's very loud and then you're scared to death it's going to explode or something, or like there's a jet landing on your roof. That's how loud your PC gets. It's almost like the sound is coming from the outdoors. But it wasn't doing that this time. I honestly thought it was pretty impressive that GTA 4 and Red Dead Redemption functioned the way they did on this. At the end of the day, Xenia is like putting way too much guacamole on a burrito from Chipotle. You can either bite into this disaster-ass bite, where it's like this goopy mess. It's just way too wet. There's no rice, there's no chicken, there's no carne asada. Everything is just wet, and it's just overwhelming, and there's too much guacamole on this damn burrito bowl. But sometimes you bite into it, and you get the nice ratio of rice, chicken, whatever meat you have, and the guacamole together. That's what Xenia is. Sometimes it is very good, sometimes it is very, very unfortunate. Was this experience better for me than the last time I played it? I'd say yes. I really did kind of forget that this is not that bad now. It's actually better than I remember. Just the way everything has changed with like setting it up, changing settings and everything like that, installing it, and game performance might not work for games that may have worked at one point. But if you just have a bunch of games you want to play and you know they work, then it's okay. I should have just ended this after the burrito reference, because I don't think anything I just said was any different than what I just said before that.